Hello and welcome, everyone. As always, I welcome you all to the aftermarket analysis session. This is the aftermarket analysis session for the Indian markets Nifty and Bank Nifty, where we look at where the buyers and sellers were after the market has closed, where absorption happened, where exhaustion took place, okay, and we try to read the footprint properly. So if you are new, want to learn order flow, want to learn how to use the footprint properly, or want to learn how to use GoCharting effectively, you can join this live session every day at 5 p.m. in the evening. You will get the link to this live session on GoCharting's Discord and Telegram before 5 p.m. in the evening. And if you are using GoCharting at that particular time, then you can also join through Google Meet by going to notifications, clicking on webinar here. In any case, if you miss this live webinar, you can also watch the recording of this live webinar on all GoCharting YouTube channels. The links to all the YouTube channels are given in the description as well as in the messages. Okay. So this was today's movement of Nifty. The market was quite bearish. Okay, this was it. This was the movement of Nifty today. Okay. So now, how could order flow have helped us in this market? How could footprints have helped us? Alright, so we will look at that here. But before that, let's take a look at what our Nifty levels were. I mean, where and how did the volume profile give us confirmation? Okay. How and where did things happen? Okay, so if we look at yesterday's volume profile, it was a B-shaped volume profile. See, it's formed a B shape, right? B-shaped volume profile. Okay, so in this B-shaped volume profile, we had marked this node and this node. These are the two nodes where the most buying and the most selling happened yesterday. Simple. Okay, we marked these two. In any case, if the market broke on the downside, then this 3 to 4 days volume profile consolidation was formed here. Okay, we marked this one as well, and just like that, this B-shaped volume profile was formed. Its consolidation also had a B-shaped profile. So, we marked this node as well, and then we marked this node too. Simple. First, we marked yesterday's volume profile, and then, as simple as that, we marked the volume profiles of the previous 4 to 5 sessions. Okay. So now, let's see how and where the footprint gave us confirmation on these very levels based on the confirmation of these volume profiles. Okay. Before we properly read the footprint, you all should know what delta is, because we are going to read the footprint with its help. Okay, now let's pick the first candle. Okay. Delta, in simple language, is the difference between buyers and sellers. Let's pick the first candle, okay. On the footprint, buyers are on the right side. On the left side, we have sellers. We have added buyers on the right side. All the buyers, okay, let's say the total here comes out to 1,31,000 in plus, meaning buyers. And then let's say we have added the sellers from the left side. Here, the total comes out to 1 lakh in negative, meaning sellers. So, what will be the difference between these two? 31,000 more. Who is more? Buyers are more. So, the same delta gave us this confirmation here, the topmost value of the delta. Delta told us that in this particular candle, who is more, buyers or sellers? Okay. Now, since in the first candle buyers are more, these were round off figure numbers. We just did this to understand what delta is. Now, like in the first candle, buyers were more, So we saw this value inside a green box, and there is no negative sign in front of this value. So that means this is a positive delta, meaning buyers are more. Positive delta means equal to buyers. Now, like we picked this candle. What did we see in this candle? It is a negative value and is inside the red box. There is a negative sign in front of the value, so that means this is a negative delta, and a negative delta here means there are more sellers. For example, in this formula, suppose this becomes 1 lakh. This is 1,85,000. Okay. If we talk about this candle, what is the difference? Assume it is 1,69,000. What is the difference? There are 69,000 more on the seller's side, so similarly, there are more sellers. Okay, now what will we do? Like here, the market opened. First, we will read the delta. Then we will read the footprint. With the help of delta, we will read the footprint. Now see, there is good volume in the first candle. In the second candle also, there is good volume and good delta. There is good volume in this candle as well, and in this candle too. Now look at this. 300, 900, okay, only 8,000. Only 12,000, only 1,200, only 4,800. It means there are some candles whose delta is very high and some candles whose delta is very low. So, in the candles with heavy delta, there has been a lot of buying and selling. As compared to the candles with low delta, there hasn't been any specific buying or selling in those candles. So, the candles where there is heavy buying and selling, those are the ones that, in some way, clearly indicate the market direction. And it is these candles that have the potential to clearly show the market direction and, in some way, give us a support or resistance zone. So, what would be a better option for us? It would be to read those candles whose delta is above 30, around 30 to 35, whether it is on the positive side or the negative side, just like the first candle we picked. Okay, what is there more of in this first candle? The delta is quite significant. Yes, what is there more of? There are more buyers, so what did the footprint tell us? That in the first candle, there are more buyers, it's on the buyer's side, the right side. Now, since there are more buyers in this candle itself, there isn't much benefit in reading the sellers, so we looked at the delta. The positive side is higher. We are quickly on the buyer's side, and we looked at the spot where the most buying happened. Where did it happen? Here, the highest buying was 38K and 30K. Look at this, 8.9K buying, 30K, 38K, 16K, and 12K. So which one has the highest buying? 38K and 30K, right? Okay, usually the first candle of the day has a lot of volume, so you can even skip the first candle. Or if you want to trade, then do it very carefully. Now, what happened here? In the first candle, there was some buying activity, but in the next candle, the price reversed. That means there was buying activity, but the price went in the opposite direction. So what does this mean? It means that all the buying activity that happened in this candle got completely absorbed here. Now, it's a simple thing. If there are buyers, the price should go up. But if it didn't go up, then what happened to the buyers there? All of them got absorbed. Now, that same zone will act as resistance. Okay, next candle. Even in the next candle, there is a good amount of delta, and what happened in this candle? There was more selling. Okay, in this candle, was there more selling? Now, which were the selling zones in this candle? Selling zones mean those areas where the most selling happened. These were those zones. Now, two resistances have formed in front of us, one is this, and the other is this. In the first candle, it's because the volume is quite high. In the second candle, we can say that yes, now the normal volume that is usually in the market has come in. In the next candle, there was selling, and in the following candle, there was a bit of light buying. But there wasn't any specific buying as such. Again, there was selling, and somewhere on the pullback, this zone held quite well. It held on the pullback, and we saw a pretty strong rejection here. A significant rejection, quite strong from the resistance. Now, in this resistance, we observed something quite interesting. What is that? Look at this, 3 candles back to back with heavy delta. Heavy delta means heavy selling. The first candle has the highest delta. And which are those zones where the maximum selling happened? 34K and 54KC, these are the zones where the most selling took place. In the second candle, look at this, 30K, 33K, and in the next candle, 36K. So, what happened here? In the first candle, there was buying absorption. In the second candle, aggressive sellers came in. Okay, there was a pullback. It moved to the downside. In this downside movement, selling continued here, then selling kept on going here as well. Okay, selling kept continuing. But which was the place from where the selling started? This was that place, and the biggest selling also happened here when the pullback came. There was also a rejection, at least it gave a one-to-one move. If it had gone up from here, somewhere it seemed like at least a 1:1 move was given. But again, when it came to defending this selling zone, it didn't defend as strongly this time. I couldn't defend it as much this time. Okay, no problem, this zone has been broken. Let's delete this because the market has moved above this selling zone. Now, is there any such buying within this candle that we can say that the selling trend which was going on is now completely over? Buyers haven't stepped in yet. There hasn't been any specific buying between 21 and 26 either. Yesterday's lower volume note, the market has gone below that, so we can delete it now. So, a pullback has come again. Now look, it has touched this zone. It has easily broken this zone as well, so let's delete this too. Which zone did it touch? It touched this zone. Now look at these candles. Here, the price moved from here to here. Firstly, there wasn't any major detail to notice. Alright, now see what's happening here. The price is holding at the morning's selling zones, and here, an order flow concept is being followed, buying exhaustion. Just like the price brought an upside movement at the resistance. There isn't any specific buying, the price is just holding at the resistance, and there isn't any particular buying going on that we can say this zone will break now. Meaning, buyers aren't showing any interest, and the market Nifty is again standing at today's high. There was a rejection, and quite a good rejection at that. The price continued to move downwards. There was continuous selling on the downside. If the price took rejection from here and came down till here, then in between, with some light selling, there were sell orders of 10K, 13K, 15K, and even 41K. Somewhere or the other, all that got absorbed here. How did it get absorbed? Because after this selling, the price went up. But still, there was no such buying activity visible that we could say, yes, now aggressive buyers have come in and will push the price up. Selling happened, it got absorbed, but still, who actually takes the price up? Aggressive buyers. But there was no specific buying visible. There was some buying inside this candle at 23K, but still, the market didn't stay above that even for a little while. Now again, there was another downside movement. In this downside movement, see where the maximum selling happened, 150 negative delta. This is the main selling zone where the pullback came. No buyer is interested. Now, look at the negative delta of every candle, selling of 36K, selling of 150K, selling of 64K. The highest selling zone, look at this candle, there was selling of 36K, so where did the maximum selling happen? 20K. Okay, look at this. Then this pullback came, and again we saw another downside movement. Easy downside movement. In this downside movement, again we saw another such candle, where there was heavy delta. Where was the heavy delta? 83K selling activity, 43K and 30K. See, again the market got stuck here. It got stuck quite a bit and again downside. So, if we look at today's Nifty, what did we actually get to see? In the first candle, there was buying absorption. In the second candle, aggressive sellers came in. The selling zones of this very candle acted as resistance. It gave a downside movement. Here we saw another round of selling. But that selling couldn't defend much on the pullback. The selling zone was broken, but there was no such buying activity that we could say a trend reversal has happened. The price got stuck at the first resistance. It got stuck quite a bit. It remained stuck for quite some time. There was a downside movement. Some selling came in and got absorbed, but still, no buyer entered. Again, there was a downside move. This was the zone where, once again, today saw the most activity. If we talk about where the maximum selling happened, it was stuck right at that place. For 15 minutes, the market remained stuck there. The market remained stuck there quite easily, with downside movement, again a downside movement, and in this downside movement, there was another round of selling here. Even here, the market was easily stuck for 15 minutes. There was this selling which was not defended during the pullback. Otherwise, all the selling that happened today, all the buying was perfectly held at the absorption zone during the pullback, perfectly. Okay, now let's have a look at Bank Nifty as well. Today, the volume in Bank Nifty was quite good. The volume was really good. It was just like Nifty. Here too, just like in Nifty where selling came in the second candle, here selling came in the third candle, and look at which zones had the most selling. Look, there was selling of 12K, 8K along with 12K, and during the pullback, the downside movement was held. Here, during the pullback, it couldn't break as much as it did in Nifty. It got stuck right there. Downside movement, okay, again downside movement. Now in this downside movement, while taking rejection from here, like the first selling came downside movement, there was a pullback from back downside movement. Now, in this downside movement, we saw another selling which happened here. 14K, 15K, and 10K, 3 back-to-back candles, just like in Nifty where we saw 150K selling at the same spot. And here, see, after 14K there was 11K selling activity, 11K selling activity. This is that selling zone, okay. It came back to the same spot on the pullback, and there was a downside movement. After several days, we saw selling in Bank Nifty. Maybe it's because its expiry is approaching. So that's why there was some good buying and selling volume in Bank Nifty. Okay, this was today's quick analysis of Nifty and Bank Nifty. Now, whatever questions you all have, please unmute yourself and ask.